Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. Today we are once again going all the way over to Japan to check out this super sweet Seismic Swans deck, which was played by Matsudawa Satoshi. So congrats to Matsudawa on a super exciting and sweet deck. A quick reminder before we break it all down, if you enjoy this deck and want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever is most popular gets a chance at being made into videos next week. So let's talk Seismic Swans. So the Seismic Swans isn't a new combo. It's been around, but it hasn't really been played much in Modern. It was kind of a thing back in Old Extended, but it looks like it might be making a comeback. So Swans of Bernagol is a really interesting creature. 4-mana 4/3 flyer, but that's not the relevant part. The relevant part is it says if a source would deal damage to it, you prevent the damage and the source's controller draws cards equal to the damage prevented that way. So this isn't a creature you want to use to beat down for 4 in the air. That's not the point of Swans. The point of Swans is to be a combo piece with Seismic Assault, which is a enchantment that lets you discard a land to deal 2 damage to a creature or player. So if you have a Swans on the battlefield and a Seismic Assault, you can take and discard a land to deal 2 damage to the Swans, which draws you 2 cards, hopefully draws you into more lands, which you can use to ping the Swans, to draw more cards. Eventually, you're going to draw through your entire deck. One of the combos of this is Deckmore Salvage. So let's say you have the Swans and Seismic Assault on the battlefield in a Deckmore Salvage in hand. You can discard the Deckmore Salvage to Seismic Assault to deal the damage to the Swans, which draws you 2 cards, and then instead of just drawing 2 cards off the top of your deck, you can dredge back the Deckmore Salvage as one of those draws and draw a new card, which mills 2 cards into your graveyard, whatever, but you get the land back, so you're always guaranteeing that you always have a land in your hand when you go through this process, plus you're drawing 1 extra card. So what you do is you go through that cycle again and again and again. Eventually, you are going to mill your Kozilek Butcher of Truth, which will shuffle your graveyard back in. So you keep going through this process, and sooner or later, you are going to have 20 lands, 10 lands, 15 lands, however many lands you need in your hand, so you can stop pinging your Swans with your Seismic Assault lands and just throw all those lands at your opponent's face for 2 damage each and win the game. So it's kind of an infinite loop if you have the whole thing assembled with Deckmore Salvage, Kozilek, and the Swans and Seismic Assault. So that is the main combo of the deck. You are trying to assemble those pieces, and with those pieces assembled, you should be able to do any amount of damage necessary to kill your opponent. Then we have some protection. Spellskite protects both the Swans and your enchantment from like an Abrupt Decay. Snapcaster Mage doesn't really provide protection in and of itself, but when you consider the deck has a ton of counter spells, Spell Snare, Mana Leak, Negate, Remand, you can reuse those counters to help protect your combo. The deck really plays a control game. It's kind of a Blue Moon type feel to the deck, except the way you win the game is the infinite combo with the Swans. Faithless Looting Serum Visions helps you find whatever pieces you need. Then there's some sweet removal, Lightning Bolt and Scred. The most interesting part about these cards is, remember, you can always direct them at your Swans. So if you Lightning Bolt your Swans, you turn a Lightning Bolt into an Ancestral Recall, draw 3 cards. Scred, you can potentially draw, I don't even know, 20 cards, 10 cards. It deals damage equal to the number of snow-covered permanents you control, and all of your basic lands are basic snow lands, snow-covered islands, snow-covered mountains, so you can draw a ton of cards by Scredding your own Swans, plus you can use these to kill your opponent's creatures. And then, this is kind of the Blue Moon feeling package. You get the 3 Anger of Gods as a Wrath, 2 Blood Moons to help disrupt your opponent. Doesn't hurt you much at all, because you're playing so many basics in the deck anyway. And 1 Squelch. The rest of the mana base, apart from the Deckmore Salvages and Snow-Covered basics, is 4 Cascade Bluffs. In the sideboard, Keranos and Stormbreath, big, hard to deal with threats against control decks. Stormbreath great against white decks. Then some specific targeted hate, Grafdigger's Cage and Pithing Needle help deal with Nahiri. Grafdigger's Cage also hates on the graveyard along with Relic of Progenitus. Then Electrolyze and Staticaster, really good at taking down Lingering Souls tokens, any small creatures. And then Dragon's Claw helps against burn decks, mono red aggro. Stubborn Denial is additional protection, and remember your Swans has 4 power, so it turns on Ferocious. So with the Swans on the battlefield, it's just 1 mana counter any non-creature spell, and then an additional Blood Moon. Anyway, that is Seismic Swans for Modern. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's Instant Deck Tech, and I will talk to you soon.